I think our administration is just not thinking through the best way to tackle the problem and is just throwing resources in particular places and making a fool of us. Just the way Border Patrol is operating is vigilante-ish. It feels lawless. It feels aggressive. It feels unnecessary.
That is an ICE agent who is speaking with Channel 5 News on the condition of anonymity.
They're operating as if anyone who looks like they may have crossed the border or didn't come from here is here illegally, because that's what they're used to. They just assume that everyone who's not white came across the border at some point in time. Yeah, I mean, they treated it like the border, and it's not the case.
While this is revealing on a few different fronts, simultaneously, what you will hear next remains completely unsurprising.
So the discrimination kind of came when I was visiting Charlotte office, which wasn't my home office. I was the sole officer that people were kind of like focusing in on with making jokes or just making out random comments. I just had another white officer point directly at me like, hey, get his brown ass in line with the other detainees. That's where it kind of dawned on me like, oh, these guys kind of have something against individuals of colors, or at least a few of their staff members do.
There is no doubt from what we have seen that racism and discrimination are major components of this job. We have even heard from one of these agents who was basically racially profiled, and he had to lift up his shirt and show his badge in order for them to back off. Now, we have seen how Trump's secret police force has killed 2 Americans, with the example being Renee Good. Here is what one agent said.
Was Renee Good a criminal? No. Was she acting like a Yeah. Was she blocking the street, antagonizing cops, chasing them, preventing them from doing their job? Sure. Should she have gone to jail? Sure. Should she have been whipped out of that car and probably beat the up? Sure. But there's so many different ways to skin that cat, and that comes down to leadership, and there was no leadership. In the Renee Good shooting, you had an officer who found himself in the same exact situation, same exact predicament, and was not only hit, but dragged by a vehicle. And now in the Renee Good shooting, he's found himself in the same exact position.
So if that officer was just hit and dragged by a car, went through this traumatic event, why was he out there in Minneapolis in the most heated part of the country?
Because the agency needed numbers and was sending everyone.
Carl Loftus, seen here, is an independent journalist who spoke with ICE agents and granted them anonymity. He collaborated with Callaghan on the venture. From Wired, Carl uncovered that a biracial agent called former head Kristi Noem a, quote, DEI hire. One HSI agent said leaders in the government are, quote, imbeciles, adding they were disgusted by almost every single one of them. A second HSI agent was worried about DHS violating the law and complained that they had to pause an investigation into child SA cases to focus on immigration. Here is my main issue with all of this, and it is not them speaking on condition of anonymity. That is a protection that should be offered. And it also shows that media like this, especially in the independent space, is just so vitally important. But it doesn't change my position, as it doesn't change many others, including Dr. Abdul El Sayed, who is running for Senate in Michigan. And will, I can't confidently state it, but I hope he'll win. And I hope he'll beat out Haley Stevens and Mallory McMorrow. But as he tweeted today, I should not be, I'm summarizing, I should not be an organization that exists. It just shouldn't. We have seen how the levers of power will be pulled in order for an organization such as DHS and ICE to operate in the way that they are for a fascist. I do not like it. You don't like it. Nobody likes it. The approval rating of DHS is probably the lowest that it will ever be right now, because we have seen how it has been weaponized. So while these guys speaking out is somewhat of a positive, and there are many takeaways, and also in a way it's educational because we're learning how a lot of these dudes feel. Simultaneously, I don't see why this operation should continue. There are ways to combat some of the things that they do. There are ways to go after criminals. Seeing it in this fashion, no. And I am curious to see when the position of abolition will not only make its way through the Democratic Party, but also become more mainstream. Because once more, as leftists, we are not wrong, we're just early. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.